look on your face kind of says it all. It has to be an extremely disappointing performance from you guys, especially in those first two periods.
Yeah, disappointing, and I'm embarrassed a bit, to be honest. Just outworked, outplayed, and such a big game, and the way we performed is Thursday.
We talked so much yesterday about needing to have that extra boost. Why are these things not happening for you guys right now?
It's a good question. I wish I could answer that. Just not good enough, but gotta calm down here and think about it. I don't have the answer for that right now.
When it comes to that third period, obviously that late push, but it just felt that every time you guys gained any sort of momentum, they would push back. Is that sort of just not being able to match that intensity that we've talked about?
No, yeah, it was just all around a good game from us, and we need the motion on the bench. We were dead first and second period, and even the third. We had a few good shifts, but I think we got to play with a little bit emotion and sometimes be pissed off, and I think we were just too soft and tonight in front of our net, and that's where they scored their goals.
Breaks can be good for a mental reset, but what do you hope each individual is thinking heading into this with what's coming up after a break?
I hope everybody goes and rests up a bit and thinks about what team he wants to be part of. Coming down the stretch, if we want to be a playoff team, we've got to figure something out. It starts with the compete, like all the things we've been talking about, and I think everybody's got to start looking in the mirror and start by himself, including me. So just how you get out of it. Start with yourself and then come out of this as a group.
We've talked so many times this year about performances like this where, the offense comes in that third period. What happened tonight knowing, you guys had to be better and also, you have this break coming up? What happened?
Well, I think we started out the first period by being really good defensively. I think that was a solid game. I think that we didn't give up too much, and obviously our scoring chances maybe wasn't there the first period, but I think we were pretty dialed in the first period in the D zone and into our system. And obviously the second period was not great at all. We didn't really box out net front. We didn't really get in shooting lanes, and we didn't really create anything offensively in the second period at all, and gave kind of all the momentum to them. And obviously we knew that third period is going to be the last period that we play in a long time, and that's when we finally started playing good and with our speed, and we also started creating a lot then, but obviously it's a little too late.
You talk about that little too late. Again, it's like something we talk so much about. So going into this break, what does everyone need to address with themselves coming back here?
Obviously how to recover themselves to make sure that we're physically ready for this last stretch. do what they need to do to get back some strength and speed and quickness, and obviously recover. We need to understand to ourselves that this last half of the season is going to be the toughest one yet. So we got to be mentally prepared for that, and everyone's just got to find a way what they have to do to themselves to be a lot better.
What is that feeling like in the third period where it felt like, every time you guys would gain any ground, they would come back at you? Is that not matching your compete? What did you sort of see that didn't allow you guys to sort of keep that pace going a bit more?
No, obviously it sucks. It's a momentum change. We create the momentum there, and obviously they're responding quick, and obviously it's kind of like the air kind of goes out of you for a second, but at the same time that's just what can happen. Mistakes can happen. You got to bounce back, and you're going to finish those 60 minutes. We managed to get back in the game, and obviously we just didn't keep it together for those chances when we pulled the goalie.
Nico said that over this break he hopes everyone sort of thinks to themselves, what do we need to do to be a playoff team going forward? What does that sort of look like to you in terms of what each individual has to do right now, where you guys are in the standings?
That's what I said before. Everyone's got to find their way to understand how they can recover their mind and body to be a lot better. It's going to be the hardest part of the season. This last stretch it's a really, really tight race, and it's really hard, and every little point matters and every period matters. So gotta get back to our physical and mental strength to come together as a group, and we just gotta have that eager to come back and play a lot better.
What can you say about the performance that V had in front of or behind you guys tonight?
I think V had a great game. Obviously he came up with some huge saves. was obviously some tough bounces in the end, and I don't really know if I think that he could have done anything special to them. I think he had a strong game, and his last game was strong too.
Bring in head coach Lindy Ruff. Coach, certainly not the way you wanted to go into the break. Can you just assess this effort here tonight against the Bolts?
The effort wasn't good enough. Simple as that. They won more battles. You look at the first goal, the battle on the wall, not good enough. Battles around the net front, not good enough. Battle our way back into a game and just toss a puck in the middle of the ice to, take away another chance. Just not good enough.
Nico Hischier was also talking about that missing emotion across the board, on the ice, on the bench. What can these guys do now to dig deep, find it as they step away from the game?
Well, I think if you look at the first 10 minutes of the third period again, there was emotion, but that means I had to sit out 5 or 6 guys who couldn't play. When you're missing 5 or 6 guys, it's hard to win a hockey game.
Well, Coach, obviously a frustrating loss, but would you say there was at least one positive the way Vitek played? Like, it seemed that this was probably his best game. He kept you guys in and gave you a chance.
Yeah. I thought we played a real solid first period. Didn't give them a lot. And then in the second period, when we needed some big saves, he gave them to us. He gave us some in the third to keep us alive. I mean, we obviously had to throw a lot of risk in our game in the third period. We knew we were going to give up some opportunities, and he made the saves that gave us a chance to go the other way.
Lindy, what type of questions do you hope your team is asking themselves about what it will take to be a playoff team over this break now?
Well, you look at our young D. They're making mistakes. That is to be expected for the most part. We got some forwards that effort has to be a lot better.
Coach, if you could just, I know we talk a lot about the injuries, everything that your team has faced up to this point of the season, but do you feel it has been a missed opportunity right now in this tight metro, these points all left on the table?
Yeah. You look at the power play we had in the third period. I think we needed our power play to come through. We didn't execute on the entry. They came with a lot of pressure in zone, and we couldn't move it quick enough. I really felt that was the opportunity to maybe tie the game up.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks.